think what Sanet's trying to say, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first live show. Are you with us now?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now we
Yes,
can, yes.
we can hear you.
My
There's your
beautiful,
introduction.
thank you, my beautiful Crystal. Thank you, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. How are you? So this is episode
Awesome.
1 of Soul of a Diamond, the author's journey, and we've got a spotlight author, Dar Geiger. She was also our first illuminated author in our beautiful Diamond Moment magazine, and she's also on our first official TV show. So I'm truly excited for that. So I just want to say, my beautiful Dar, I've got your book. I am truly excited, and I'm so excited for all the my beautiful panelists to meet you and to also ask you a few questions. My beautiful Dar, if you can introduce yourself and tell us something that not a lot of people know.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and I love all of the panel people, and especially our host with the most, Sinet. My name is Dar Geiger, and I am an author and a joyologist. And something that most people don't know about is that I was a professional clown for a short period of time.
No.
I love it. I love it. So we do have feedback, or somebody gave us some feedback. Is Jeffrey, and he said hi to everyone, and he's all the way from Cape Coral, Florida. Hello, Jeffrey. So happy that you are here. So, my beautiful Laura, can you introduce yourself and tell us also something that not a lot of people know?
Yeah. I love that, Dar. Completely unexpected. That's like one of my favorite answers right now that we've ever had. So I'm Laura Brennan Ballet. I'm a thought energy expert, empowerment coach, speaker, of course, global author, but really, really proud and honored to be sitting here with these amazing humans. We just have so much fun behind the scenes. Something that not everyone knows about me is I love anchovies.
And you, my beautiful buddy.
Laura, you just got on my bad list. Anchovies? Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
I love them.
Yeah, a lot of people know who I am, but my name is Buddy Thornton. I'm the co-founder of Fighters for Hope. We address mental health awareness and suicide prevention. And a lot of people don't know is I didn't really start growing up and getting the rest of my education until I was in my late 50s. I got my master's at 58, and I didn't complete my doctoral education until my mid 60s. Because before all that, I was a professional bowler and a serial entrepreneur.
Wow. You
Fabulous.
guys just gave me goosebumps. Woo-hoo. Ooh,
Goosebumps.
So, Dor, if we get goosebumps, we put on glasses.
Goosebumps!
There we go. Shining brightly.
I do apologize, my miracle man. I do have your glasses here.
You do. You got those in New York. I left them. You took them.
So, my beautiful Krista, can you please introduce and tell us something not a lot of people know?
Absolutely. So my name is Krista. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I've been asked by the Diamond Beauties, to be the clarity expert, and I help people find clarity in their chaos through the way they think, talk, and act. I'm also an Amazon #1 best-selling author, speaker, coach, and use different modalities with energy. And something that people might not know about me, except probably this panel, is that I also play the harmonica, and I do that sometimes with bands. So one of my little secret hidden talents.
Wow,
Cool.
amazing. Thank you so much. And you, my beautiful buddy. Oh, I'm so sorry, Howard. Sorry, I was looking at Buddy. He's my beautiful Howard.
So I am Howard Brown. I'm sitting in Michigan, USA, and I am known as Mr. Shining Brightly. The glasses are all a tribute to me because we can all shine brightly. I'm a survivorship coach and an author, international speaker, and I got a huge podcast called The Shining Brightly Show. We all get knocked down in life, and the key is to use your light to get back up again and help others. And I'm excited. So, what you may not know about me, I was the cover boy for magazine number 9 on Diamond Moments magazine. Oh, everyone's supposed to know that. I think everyone's supposed to know that, right? Oh,
I
okay.
did.
Sorry.
Uh,
Anyways,
and
wait, what they don't know maybe is that I am Sanet's miracle man because my twin sister saved my life from a bone marrow transplant 34 years ago. And I bring joy to my life and others every day. So Dar, we are glad. We are in alignment. We are tight. We are vibing together. Thank you.
Yeah.
wow,
Awesome.
beautiful. So I've got another shout out, and Gina say hello, and Gina here. So we are so excited. Some of the ladies and gentlemen have started to follow us on from the Diamond Beauties and Tanzanite Heroes. So my beautiful Dor, I'm going to start off with my first question that I wanted to ask you. In your book, you were telling us about something that happened when you have a shopping spree and then you rush into the, and every time you tell the story with the belt, well, for me here in South Africa, I really didn't understand that you can see somebody's belt at the end, you know, in the restroom. But since I visit there, I know that there's quite a big space open in the restroom. But can you please tell us about your story?
Back in the day when I was addicted to retail therapy, don't anybody mess with my retail therapy. I was on a buzz in a store, clothing store, and my basket was full. And my body was calling me to relieve itself, and I said, "Ain't no way! I'm on a quest." And so I ignored it, and I kept on shopping until I got to a point like, "Oh boy, I better go to the restroom now." So I saw the restroom sign. I ran in just in time. And suddenly I hear this clink on the floor. And I went, "What was that?" And I look underneath the stalls and I see a man's belt on top of a man's pants, on top of a man's shoes. Yikes! I'm in the men's bathroom. Oh, Lord, get me out of here.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I was absolutely mortified, and I got out there and I kind of, okay, let's laugh at ourselves. Don't take yourself too seriously. This could happen to anybody. And I thought, okay, back to shopping. So I shook it off, laughed at myself, and resumed my shopping.
Oh wow! Every time you know when you tell the story, or when I was reading it, I got such a laugh because yeah, the a men's belt on a men's pants on a men's shoes. It was like amazing. I love it. My beautiful Laura.
And
Yeah,
P.S. There's a P.S. here I wanted to say too. I continued shopping, and I saw the man's shoes, so I kept looking on the floor for the recognizable shoes. Anyway, go ahead.
I think we all find a bit of joy in that story because we can relate to it, whether we're a man already in the stall or a woman, sometimes like in concerts, like your boyfriend or your husband would stand outside the door and you'd go in, right? Because the men's room is a lot less of a line here for concerts. But again, the shoes with the pants and the belts all crumbled down, I think is just so funny. So I want to ask, not a serious question, but I think a very empowering question. For those of us out there that are struggling with finding joy in this time frame with the way the world is, how would you support people maybe igniting self-joy?
I'll tell you, for me, what works. It's about having a very close personal relationship with a loving God that I know cares for me deeply, watches over me, protects me, guides me right now, speaks through me, gives me the words to give him glory and to bless other people. So it's about a relationship.
Yeah. Relationship with a higher power. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's very helpful and empowering to our listening audience. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
Beautiful buddy.
Oh, unmute, buddy.
Muted.
I pulled a Howard Brown. I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute. Okay, so I had to poke you, Howard. I'm sorry. Okay, so Dar, I've worked on some of your material before, but I deal with a lot of clients who are in what I would call an area where they would struggle to find joy. And one of the things that I do is I try to get them to understand that they need to be able to see joy in the moment and see joy in what they have, not what they don't have, and not worry outside of their own environment. How would you approach that if you found someone that's just really struggled with finding joy and they possibly were already very, very involved in their spirituality, but they still were struggling to find the joy in their life?
Oh, that's a wonderful question, because that's just a reality for many people. And for me, what I found that got me out of going into the pits of depression was to find something to be grateful for. And there's always something to find to be grateful for. And I know some people who are in catastrophic situations, it's supernatural to be able to say, for instance, we had a whole entire neighborhood wiped out by a tornado in May. And there were several people that I know and acquaintances that lost their home, just got flattened. And this person still is able to find joy through saying, I am so grateful for our neighbors, for friends, for family who have come and helped us and supported us and brought meals and babysat for my kids. And we're still alive. We're still healthy. Nobody got hurt. It's just things that got taken away. Things can be replaced, not lives. So even when you look at a catastrophic situation, it's possible to find joy through, not based on the circumstances, but based on that ability to be able to find something to look at, grateful for. It builds that act of finding gratitude creates chemicals in the brain that give us a feeling of well-being. And so pretty soon you go, yeah, gosh, I know what I lost, but look what I have. And like you said, buddy, focusing on the things that we have and not on what we don't have. And it takes practice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That works for me.
Yeah, me too.
Krista?
First of all, I love the story that you shared about the bathroom. I won't get into it, but I had a similar experience, except I was going for an interview. And the person who was going to interview me, I didn't realize till I walked into the interview that we previously met in the stall. Anyway, so thank you for being vulnerable so I could be vulnerable and share that. And I absolutely love how you equate, fun and laughter in joy and how important it is in our life. But you talk a little bit in your book about how early in our childhood, we seem to easily connect with joy, but then we lose it. So why do you think that happens?
Well, I love to use the childlike, not childish, but childlike, which means you maintain a playfulness, a taking your ability to see the funny side of issues. It does take work. I had to work that through my story. I had to work at that. Excuse me, I'm going to mute myself for a minute.
Little cough loud. Happens to all of us.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to bury you
It's
all.
only live It's only live TV.
Yeah.
I want to be authentic.
Yeah.
So at any rate, there is a gift, an ability to be able to do that, or to have people around you who can teach you and guide you. I had a wonderful friend who taught me how to be grateful and like putting your feet on the floor. As opposed to the other option.
Yeah.
Starting out with something simple and that we lose our childlike ways when we start becoming more serious as adults and wanting to get married, having children, it all is a big, heavy deal, and you can tend to lose some of that playfulness. And I'm getting another cough. I'm sorry, I got to take a drink of water.
It's okay, my beautiful Dar. I've got a message from Wendy. She's all the way from Brisbane in Australia. Hello,
What's
Wendy.
up?
And she said she loving this content. Thank you, my beautiful Wendy. Mwah.
I love the live energy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for commenting. So we're being real here, and I'm having a coughing attack, which in the name of Jesus, I bind that right now. No more coughing. We have a tendency, because we get to be adults and we take life seriously. So there's a combination of issues. And I was blessed with being family who knew how to play and be silly. And so I've carried that with me through it all, even when I went through trials and tragedy, like the loss of my husband, my soulmate. And I don't know how long I should go on with answering your question.
You can go on.
But, I prayed after he passed about getting women together to have a Bible study, and instead we got together and all we did was belly laugh. And I just knew that God wanted us to have fun, so we called ourselves Ladies of Laughter.
It's awesome.
So I was blessed with that ability, and God wants us to be able to have joy. He came to bring righteousness, peace, and joy. So, yep,
That's fantastic. And I want to point out that not only are you being authentic right now and speaking about joy, you're bringing some joy to even your coughing experience and laughter amongst all of us. So thank you for making us laugh and bringing us some joy by being authentic.
It's my pleasure. I do hope that you all take yourselves lightly.
Thank you.
And Wendy said an interruption cough is the time for reflection. Pause. Thank you, Wendy. My beautiful Howard.
So we all have to reflect back on the bathroom story, because it's hysterical, and two, it's happened to me. I'm a colorectal cancer patient and survivor, and when you gotta go, you gotta go. So I have to tell you, in front of me is, you probably can't see it on screen, but this is a squishy poop right here on my desk. And wait, and I have a porta potty. I have my porta potty right here. So it was just hysterical. And listen, that's the human thing. We gotta go. We gotta go. It's the way it is. So I relate to it, and I've done it in the women's room, and I've come out and they go, wrong room. I go, yep, absolutely. But I want to combine a couple things in your book, because we are so aligned. But I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to give you a comment after you answer it too. So, is faith worth it? Does prayer work? And do miracles happen?
Wonderful questions. Those are my hot buttons, Howard. Is faith worth it? Unequivocally. Because when my husband, my soulmate, passed in 2006, I was ready to go home. I was ready to leave this earth. But God loved on me and was me and helped me to see the blessings that were still here for me to live for. like my daughter and my grandson and my son and friends, etc. Dark. I think I did that probably. And it's a journey one day at a time. For me, it's one day at a time. I let God lead my day. I have quiet time and pause, Wendy, so I can hear his loving voice, because it's always gentle and kind and this way, Dar, and slow down, and this is good. Just listen, and it's practice. It's for me. Friendship. I want to invest in people. I love people. God gave me a natural love for others, and to exhort them to see the goodness in other people and to inspire them. So that's one of my gifts, is connecting and being able to see people's hearts. So I see your hearts just today from your brief sharing. And I love your hearts. And do miracles happen? You know what, you guys? I got a little secret for you. When you surrender to a power greater than yourself, who is loving you, value you, miracles can happen. And they do. So for me, there's no coincidences. There's only God incidences. Because how do you explain the beautiful rainbow outside? Dark clouds, rain. I know, Howard, you've got a storm going on, and suddenly the sky breaks and you've got this amazing, colorful rainbow. How do you explain that? It's a miracle.
So thank you for that. Miracles happen every day. We just sometimes don't see them. And so I as a 2-time stage 4 cancer survivor, and I know you've had your battle too. Okay. Medical technology, people help save my life. We have more work to do on this earth. Our cancer burden didn't take us and call us to heaven. But I want to tell you that you are now the joy giver and the hope maker. And I want to tell you that I just admire your book and your work and your whole vantage point of life, because that's what we're called to do here, is to lift up others and shine our light. And you are doing that through your book and your work. And I am a big fan now.
Wow, I was so honored. Howard, thank you so very much. Those are wonderful praises. Thank you so much. I'm very humbly grateful, really.
Wow. Thank
It's
you.
an honor to be serving God. Yeah.
I just need to give you this one message. Wendy says, a higher faith is universal. It's the one thing humanity has in common. I love that. Thank you, Wendy. So, my beautiful Dar, my question is to you. When you are in season in life, and you can hear I say it very beautifully, most people think they're not good enough, or they think they cannot write a book. What message can you give somebody that is seasoned in life, that never have written a book, that think maybe they can? What message can you give a person like that?
Every one of us has a story worth sharing. Every single one of us has a book inside of us from our life story. It's invaluable. When we share our personal testimonies of our life and the lessons that we've learned, or the wisdom that we've gained, or the humor. I mean, I love listening to people's stories. I love to learn from people and be able to see. I could see God was working there, and I mean, I can just see God kind of overlooking these people when they tell their stories. And because I love God's stories, you guys. I love your God stories because number one, God's stories build up my faith. It firms it up to hear other people talk about miracles and the good things, because there's so much negativity that I want those fiery darts shooting all of that stuff back off, and let's hear about humanity and why are we here in the first place. We all have a purpose. God created us to be relational with him and to be relational with one another, Howard, like you said, to share and empower other people and contribute. So I want to hear the God stories. And so I want to hear your story.
So I'm just wanted to ask another question. Will you be able to share what age you were when you written your book?
Sure. I was 78 years young.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
It can be done.
It's amazing. And you are amazing, my beautiful Laura.
Yes, you are. You're all amazing. Remember, Moses was 80 years old when he really started doing some rockin' stuff.
I love that. Love that. I love that. Dar and Moses write a story. Oh, that's so cool. Do you want
Laura,
me to?
you can ask your next question.
Oh, yeah. So again, coming from the empowerment, right, perspective, and I appreciate and respect all of this God connection and connectivity. I know sometimes when I speak to audience, not everyone connection to what you're talking about, right? Thought energy, empowerment energy, all of these other words come in. So I'm curious how you might be able to reignite that connection to joy isn't necessarily through your personal connection to God. So if you were inspiring people out there, such as people who believe in universal energy, them it's still God energy, much as faith. But you have this exuberance around joy. You have had such courage from what you've gone through. So I thought it might be interesting for you to maybe offer a moment of how you might help ignite joy in someone that maybe has yet to discover their faith or has yet to be able to rely on God for their connection to joy.
Yeah, I'm. You were bleeping out here and there, Laura. So I hope I understand your question.
Oh, so
Because
sorry.
you talked about that's all right. You couldn't help it, hon. It's technology. You're talking about more. You're coming more from the science end, and there are people who don't either know or understand what is a loving God in the first place. Well, it's the first word. It's love. It's about love. It's about getting out of myself and thinking less of myself. Humility, not thinking thinking of myself less often is what it's about. Not thinking less of myself. Sorry, I got that wrong. And it's about energy of really genuinely being able to care about other people. So for those who don't know about that kind of thing, I can only speak what I think God's saying to me is that he sent his son Jesus Christ to die for our sins, past, present, and future, because he loves us and he wants us to be with him in eternity. And to believe is a step of faith, and to trust that this love is so amazing. It's so amazing. Love, unconditional love, which means he's saying to us, you're so valuable to me, so very valuable. I want you to have love and joy, and to receive it, to get your receptors turned on, be able to receive, ask, pray, ask this higher power, this energy of love to speak to you, to ignite some joy in you. It's not by me and it's not what I said, it's what the Bible says. So I stand on the Bible, I stand on the Word of God. But for anybody who doesn't know about love and doesn't know how to receive it, ask. Ask, because I believe in my loving God, And I believe he loves everybody and wants everyone to know about his love and his joy that he wants for all of us. He asked me to be his joy giver, so I am gracefully being a conduit from my loving God through me to others about joy. It's not about circumstances. It's about a relationship. And a relationship is very powerful and all loving and all empowering.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love authors. Beautiful, sir. And for me, what really resonated was stepping into faith. And for some people, that can really be a transformative experience. So thank you. So beautifully, really put and received. Because sometimes there are people in our audience that are searching, that maybe had faith and lost it, or questioned faith and have become disconnected. So I think it's important to remind them, as you said, the love and the acceptance, the unconditional love that's available through that belief. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
And Buddy?
I guess I've had a gift because I've been able to work with all of your work on the printed page. And I love Howard's forthwithness on his Shining Brightly, and the way all of you approach the nonfiction side of the world. You all live in the world of reality. But let's take a little journey right quick. Hollywood lives in the world of escapism. And a lot of people think, well, you can see almost anything on the screen, right? And a lot of people call these really big tentpole movies, the science fiction and all the stuff that they can create, right? But Hollywood writers say there's only 24 prototypical stories and only 21 archetypical males and only 21 archetypical females. So what they can do, fiction, is limited to those realms. So what they really do and what they're learning now is that they have to reach out into the real world. And one Hollywood producer told me I can go to any street and any house in the world and get out of my vehicle, knock on the door and say, could you tell me your story? And if they did it right, because it's a true story, it would be better than any fiction. So Dar, how would you approach someone who is in the younger generation, who is completely enamored with all this creative fiction that's in their world because they're trying to escape? Perhaps they're not in a situation where they can embrace joy. How would you embrace them to realize that the real world and real life is far more greater than fiction, and they need to live in the real instead of the unreal? How would you approach that?
Wow, that's a profound and great question. I have a 21-year-old grandson. I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter, and so I'm picturing talking to that age group. And for me, it depends on whether they're male or female, because the brain is different between the male and the female, and how they process and how they hear things, So living in reality, living in the real world is an absolute adventure. It's scary. It's exciting. It's incomprehensible at times. You can't compare it to fiction. There's no comparison, because you don't make it up. You're on a joyride. I'm on a joyride for today right now. And I am in my niche right now with all of you and being asked questions, because I love spontaneity and the interaction and the communicating with one another. Well, how do you make fiction out of this? I mean, we're being authentic. We're being vulnerable too, especially with my cough. I thought, you know what, God, thank you for the cough, because it showed my vulnerability, and that builds trust among us. Learning to be vulnerable. So I think I'd have to ask them a question. What is it like for you living in a world of fiction? Tell me what you love about it. So I'd have to find out where they're coming from, their perspective. I think my grandchildren are pretty living in the real world. I don't know if I'd be able to actually influence, but that would be my goal, to challenge them to have a hour of reality Because I know some people are really into fiction, what do you call it? Not fiction. What else do you call it? Can't think of the term.
Maybe
Virtual.
fantasy, virtual reality. Yep.
Yeah, virtual. I also worry about brain damage because, oh my gosh. Anyway, we don't want to get into all that technical stuff, but I'm challenged by your question, buddy. I really am.
Well, I try to. I've read your work and I've worked with you, so I know. But I try to make sure that people understand that no matter what you can invent in your head, if you just dig deep enough, you can probably find it in the real world, and you'll find out it's even more amazing in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even more amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, buddy. Krista?
Thank you for sharing so much. And first of all, I have to make a comment to Howard. Howard, did you not remember to tell the storm to not cross the border over here? Um, because we are now
I might have forgot that. I might have forgot that.
they were supposed to stop at immigration. So thank you, Howard. I just had to address that. Dar, all your sharing has touched me so much. I can identify a lot with you as I write in my book about how I also lost my husband and have had to use gratitude and found ways to find joy to continue on living, basically. And I do use a lot of humor throughout my book. But one thing I noticed that you talk about igniting joy, but yet you titled your book Reigniting Joy. Tell me a little bit about how you came up with that title.
Oh, good question. Because I obsessed for days and weeks about the title. Prayed, fantasized, but came to the conclusion over my book is my biography. It's about my life. And so as I reflected on my life and had that privilege of working with Marty Dickinson, my publisher, whom I talked to, and he asked questions. So that's how we wrote my book. It was amazing. I didn't have to sit down and write. I mean, I just talked my story. So it was a wonderful experience. But I reflected about the things that I'd experienced. And I'm lost my train of thought. Sorry.
The title of your book. The title of your book must have just it was God given.
Oh yeah. What I wanted to say was that I lost my joy the minute my husband had his heart attack, because I was all bubbly and excited about going out for dinner to celebrate our 45th wedding anniversary, and within seconds, boom, that joy was gone. So I realized that joy is there, and it will be experienced off and on, but it can be gone within seconds. Within a split second, it can be gone. And so reignite meant for me, you may have lost your joy, but you can get it back. Or if you haven't had any joy at all, you can ignite it, reignite it. So it had numerous meanings, Krista. Thank you.
No, that's fantastic. And I'm going to say from the second I saw the title, Reignite Your Joy, because I know for myself, there's been many times in my life that my joy was dimmed, my light was dimmed. So walking through a bookstore and seeing the title Reignite, basically, shine me up. I mean, I would grab it. It's definitely hits home a lot with me, and I bet it hits home with a lot of people. So I absolutely love it. I think you nailed it, and I'm a huge fan of yours. So thank you too.
Oh, thank you, Krista. Yeah, I mean, it would give hope. That's for sure. Oh, I can reignite. I lost it, but maybe it'll come back. Thank you.
Howard, before I'm going to come to you, I just wanted to say, Wendy said, I asked my grandson 11, when something happens to them, what lessons is there to teach you? And then she said the next part, I should clarify twins, 11. Okay. So she also do ask her grandchildren, what lesson is there that she can teach you. So I loved it. So my beautiful Howard,
So Wendy, shout out, twins, 58 years old, girl, boy, my twin sister who saved my life and is just an angel on this earth. Okay. So, and she has twins, girl, boy, and the girls are 5 minutes older. So Wendy, that's beautiful for your grandchildren. Hug them, learn from them, teach them. So Dar, I have to tell you that I love the Joyrider movement. Anyone can get on and do it. But here's the thing. All right. My part of my daily mantra that my great grandmother, who lived to 101, taught me was to choose kindness every day and act on it. Choose giving every day and act on it. Choose healing every day and act on it. And choose gratitude every day and act on it. And I'm going to add now, because of you, to choose joy every day and act on it. And the thing she told us not to do, there was one, to choose not to hate. And I have to tell you that I get up sometimes after looking at the news or reading what's going on in the world, that there are people not choosing joy every day. So we've got a lot of work to do. So how should we get started?
How should we get started? You know,
Yeah, it's a simple question, Dar.
It is. It's a simple question. For me, it's about prayer. To pray, how do you want to use me today? How can I be a conduit for you and your love and joy? Just show me the way and lead me, and then walk in trust. And I wanted to tell you that I'm not always joyful.
Of course.
That wouldn't be realistic, would it? So the audience should know that as well. But it is there to be tapped on. And I thought some days I don't feel like being joyful. And I allow myself to feel those feelings. I was at a retreat this weekend, and some of the things that I realized from some of the women there, they're hurting so much, had no joy. And that was my hot button to learn. And they don't know how to just acknowledge how they feel. If you're having a bad day, it's okay. You know, if you're feeling sad or angry, acknowledge it. Don't let it fester inside. And so some of that is mental and emotional health, as Buddy is probably very familiar with. Learn to acknowledge how you feel. And if you're not feeling up to being laughing, joyful, it's okay. It'll pass.
Yeah. I bet if we, though, join together and the more we spread joy, that we will become this force multiplier for the good and the positive and the shining of the light. I guarantee it.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's very contagious. Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Howard. So, my beautiful Dar, you gave me this when I were in Omaha, Nebraska, 2 weeks ago. And here at the back, you gave me for May the 2nd, 2024, Sanet, or maybe I must just put my glasses on because I cannot read now. Just give me 1 second. My uh, beautiful friend, and you gave me a love, and you say, adore your joyologist. I just love that. So, my beautiful Dar, can you tell us what is your forever song? And can you also give us your golden nugget?
My forever song is called Glad I Got Jesus. And I dance to it almost every day. And my nugget for today, I think, would be to just be grateful for your breath, for being able to breathe, and to be able to be on this show today and share our hearts and our wisdom and our experiences. And you can learn how to be grateful. So why don't you try it and just ask, what do I have to be grateful for today? It'd be so good for your brain.
I love that. Thank you. So, my beautiful Laura, Buddy, and Krista, Howard, any one of you can ask a question, and we will see how far we get because we've got about 8 minutes to go, and then we will be the end of.
I know our internet, I feel so bad because the internet, I think, for all of us has been so choppy. I just have a quick question.
I think we lost her.
I'm thinking meteorologist, weather, joyologist. I love this title. Where did you get this?
A friend of mine in my business networking group put it beside my name. And I thought, oh my gosh,
Whoops.
I never heard of that before. So I looked it up, and it was a definition about a person who brings great joy to other people. So I just decided to take ownership of it. And am I bleeping out on you guys as well?
No,
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, because Laura has had a little trouble. So it's okay. We heard what you said, Laura. Thank you.
You know, I wanted to address what Dar said earlier, and then ask her a question. You know, most people come to me when they're in conflict and they're really struggling. And so what I do is I tell them, you really need to find the gratitude in your ability to embrace the pain, in your ability to embrace the down and the dirty that always surround all of us, because without that, you would never be able to embrace the joy that you get when things are right. How would you describe that feeling when you get that, especially when you have those days when you know you're going to be down and you just don't want to really be joyful, but then you realize that there is that rainbow coming the next day? How would you describe that?
Well, for me, I journal for one thing. And I will, ask a question to God, and then I'll pause and wait, and then write what I think God's saying to me. So that's a form of prayer. And I have friends to talk to when I'm in pain. I go to the throne before I go to the phone. So I have developed relationships that I am able to express myself pretty well now. And I don't let it fester. But it's been a learning experience. I mean, this just didn't happen. It's been a learning experience.
thank you.
That's great. I'm just going to jump on and say, not only, first of all, I want to make this comment that it's definitely no accident that you're here today. You, I think, have definitely reignited some joy in so many people's hearts, brought God into so many people's hearts and awareness. So I just wanted to mention that, and, first of all, say thank you on behalf of myself, definitely, and I'm sure the team. But I'm wondering if you can tell me, I talk a lot about creating experiences in our life. So how can you help someone find a way to create experiences that they find joyful? Maybe not in a bar hanging out, that's not their thing, and they're just kind of lost, like, what do I do? What would you suggest?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind and my heart was my laughter class, teaching people how to laugh, how to breathe, move, how to dance. All of those are joy givers, shall we say, or chemical changes in the brain that give you a feeling, the sorbitins and the endorphins and the dopamines that give you a feeling of well-being. So it's so important because the brain doesn't know if you're really laughing or if it's fake. So I'm going to ask all of you right now, just laugh with me.
And Dor, that was easy, Dor.
I just learned from the laughter training class about the benefits of laughing and tapping and moving your arms and dancing, singing. So music, dancing, laughter, singing are all endorphin releasers.
Oh, I love it.
So, yeah, having a sense of humor is a skill, but the playfulness in that. And anyway, thanks for cooperating.
Thank helping
So,
us
so
laugh and you just create an experience. So there you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Dar, I'll jump in and just tell you that I did a speed reading version of your book last night, and the song that came to my mind was "Joy to the World," and that was the song that popped into my head.
Mm.
And I think that one of the other takeaways from your book, which was very important, is that if you're struggling, okay, or you're having a bad day, it'll change if you bring joy to another's life. That was my big takeaway from your book, and it's really powerful. And I'm not sure if that's everyone's takeaway, but I guarantee you that people that read your book, that you are empowering them to become a joy giver, and that's a huge thing. And I just want to tell you, it was powerful for me.
Thank you for dating me that, because that is I learned through my recovery from addictions, is to think less of myself, think of myself less often, die to myself, and invest in other people. It is very rewarding. Not all the time, but it's very rewarding. Thank you for seeing that, Howard. I appreciate that. I got a hunch you're kind of doing that yourself.
I am.
We all are.
Wow. So, my beautiful ones, we are almost done. First of all, I want to say thank you, my beautiful Dar, for being our first spotlight author.
My pleasure.
Woo!
And then, my beautiful ones, do you all have your shades here, like Laura will say?
I think those are
I
my
want
shades.
And yeah, this is your my beautiful Dar and my beautiful Laura. Oh, buddy, I see you, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
And Krista and Howard, will you have a dance with me?
Of course.
Woohoo! Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. Let's have some fun.
My
Blessings to
beautiful
everybody.
viewers, my beautiful viewers out there, will you have a dance with us? They said
Let's do it.
yes, they said yes. Here we go. Go, buddy. Go, buddy.
Buddy.
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away. Smiling at a moonbeam or squinting in the sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love.
Buddy.
From butterflies to eagles, oh, there's magic in that
Bye
flight.
bye.